Welcome to Tasty Tuesday. This week we are concentrating on breads and berries. I wanted to share a fun story. When Ken was working at Norwich, he used to go to New York City for a conference every March. And one of the first times he went, he brought home this wonderful cheese Danish. And I loved it so much, and so I searched and searched for a recipe, and I finally found one in my Better Homes and Gardens recipes from prize-winning cooks. And no matter when I take it, it's always a hit. Lindsay actually chose this recipe to highlight this week. So we're gonna start off, it's called jam and cheese bread. And I usually gave it as gifts at Christmas time, or I always made it for the first day of school at Union Elementary School. And I just wanted to give a shout out to my UES teachers who helped me get this KitchenAid for my kitchen after I retired in 2013. The very first thing you want to do is you're going to want to dissolve a package of yeast, and I buy yeast in the bulk, and I got a really cool yeast spoon from King Arthur Baking Company, and you're going to add a half a cup of warm water and let it dissolve. And while that's dissolving, I'm going to make the filling, which is a cream cheese filling. I like to use the less fat cheese. I can't even pronounce it, but I like to use that, and you use 8 ounces of that, and then a half a cup of sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla. And I don't like real vanilla. I like imitation, probably because that's what my mom used when we were growing up. And so I use imitation of vanilla. And then you're just going to mix that together so it's nice and smooth. And then the bread part is kind of amazing because it is made with Bisquick. I like to use the lower fat Bisquick. You're going to use 2 1/4 cups of Bisquick and 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 egg slightly beaten. And this week my egg actually comes from my next door neighbor, Laura Cook. I want to thank her for her eggs. I gave her a sample of my apple pie bread and she brought me some eggs. So we're just gonna slightly beat that in, and the yeast. And we're just gonna mix that in until it's nice and smooth. And then we're actually going to knead it about 25 times. With some extra Bisquick. So I just put the Bisquick out on the counter. What makes this so neat is that you would never know that it starts out with Bisquick because it has yeast in it. Another neat thing about it is you can refrigerate it until you want to bake it. So you can make it overnight at night and refrigerate it overnight, and then you can make it fresh in the morning. So you're going to spray your cookie sheet. And then you're going to pat a 15 by 9 rectangle. I always just put a little bit of flour on my hands. And it doesn't have to be a perfect size. I just kind of guesstimate it. So you pat it out in your rectangle. It's about maybe 1/3 of an inch thick. The dough is about 1/3 of an inch thick. And then you put your filling down the middle. Straight down the middle third. I'm really into quick and easy recipes, and this is one of those. It's pretty quick and easy. Then you're going to take a knife and cut 1-inch slices on both sides, and then you're going to braid it. You just kind of crisscross it over it. You're not really braiding it. You might have noticed my cute apron. I want to give a shout out to my wonderful husband. He got it in New York City one time on one of his trips. We actually went and saw Mary Poppins on Broadway, and he wanted to get me an apron because it said Practically Perfect Cook, and they were all sold out. So he snuck back later and got it for me. And that was a really fun surprise. And you should have preheated your oven to 350, and this is going to bake for 20 minutes. It's ready for the jam. Our family prefers raspberry or strawberry, but you can actually use any kind of jam or even pie filling. I know people like cherry pie filling on it. Depends on the occasion. I actually like apricot jam, or if you're in the East, apricot. And you just put the jam down the middle and you put it back in the oven for 5 more minutes. And after 5 more minutes, it's ready to serve. I wanted to share a little bit more about my apron. In 2010, I was able to join Ken on one of his conference weekends, and we went and saw the Broadway play of Mary Poppins, and it's probably one of my favorite ones I've ever seen. And as a promotion, they were selling these aprons, but like I said before, they were all sold out. And then I went home, and Ken was there for a couple more days, and he went back and surprised me by getting it. So, like Mary Poppins is practically perfect in every way, when I wear this, I feel like I am practically perfect cook in every way. We'll see you later next Tuesday on Christy's A+ Cooking.